Well, howdy, I'm John Mark Dempsey, and we are here with Dr. Peter McNabb, Reverend Peter McNabb. I determined to make you a
I'd appreciate
PhD.
the opportunity, honoraries.
And believe me, it's a minor matter. But the Reverend Peter McNabb with First United Methodist Church in Sulphur Springs. We're going to talk about coming up at First United Methodist on Sunday, January 11th, is something called Remember Your Baptism. And all Methodist churches, or almost all United Methodist churches, do this time of year.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that. But before we talk about that, Peter brought us a book, which some of you, I bet, have seen. It is a beautiful book that First United Methodist and the Dinner Bell program published several years ago. And it is it's called Feed My Sheep. And Matt, our video producer, may want to take this and take some shots from the inside of the book to show in the video up close, more so than what we're able to do with this. But it is really a beautiful book, and it's the opportunity then to talk about the fact that you all have that program, and we hear a lot about it on KSST. There's this
Dinner Bell, delicious gourmet meal open to the public every Wednesday at 11:30, and our hope is that we build community. We have a warm place for people to come. Anybody is welcome, and we have a lot of people that come. It's no cost. It's just a delicious gourmet meal. I think they have ham and black-eyed peas and cornbread tomorrow. So that's a lot. Every week's a good thing. But the fact is, it's community building. I believe God calls us to break down walls and to be with each other. And so on Wednesday, right there off the square, we can be together like that. So it's really a great thing to be together. And the companies and the organizations that are part of our community that sponsor that, they pay $500 each week for a meal that they can provide for so many people that get that. And that covers a lot of the costs. We have also other fundraisers, but it's a great thing for businesses or individuals sometimes that sponsor it because they want to feed our community with something, not just any kind of food, but really good gourmet food. Yeah. Judy Gilworth is the leader of that. She's been doing that for many years. She used to have a catering business in town. She knows exactly how to do that. Really good. So
it's not necessarily for people who are in need of food for that particular day. Not necessarily.
Right.
Anyone.
But a lot of the people that are there who are in need, but also just anybody can come because we break down barriers that way. We get to know each other, and we're part of the community. So it's
what time does it start?
11:30 every Wednesday. The doors open at 11, and we'd love to have you come on out. Anybody to come and join.
About how many people typically?
Probably about 100 each.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it's a good turnout. So it's really
wow.
Good.
That's a major crowd of people every Wednesday.
And volunteers, those that want to volunteer in that capacity. It's a great way that you can serve your community. So we take volunteers all the time. So.
Great. Okay, so let's get back to the original thing. Remember your baptism. I will reveal that we are Methodist, and we actually live closer to Commerce, so we're members of that church. But I'm familiar with that program in which the minister in our church will actually toss water from a branch. Yeah. You call it a hyssop.
Yes.
And it'll people will be sprinkled with
right.
water. But the idea is to literally, it's just what it says, remember your baptism.
Exactly. And baptism, it's an outward sign of an inward grace, of God's work, and God's been working in our lives to change us for the better. And when we make the decision to be baptized, and it's a decision it's life changing, but it's not just a one-time decision. It's an ongoing decision. You're remembering the fact that you are a baptized child of God. And the beautiful thing about January is that it's a time to start afresh on something new. So a lot of people go to the gym in January and make commitments to resolutions to get out there and work on their physical life and the physical body. But also this is a way to look at your spiritual life and how can you grow in your faith this year. How maybe you can reconnect with the church or a Bible study or prayer life or things that you're doing. But I believe when we remember that we are baptized, it's a life-changing thing. It changes our identity. You know, Jesus was baptized in the Jordan River, and by John the Baptist. He didn't have to be baptized, but in that moment of baptism, we hear we see the Holy Spirit come down like a dove and descend upon him, and we also hear the voice from heaven of God the Father saying, "This is my Son, in whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." Mm-hmm. We see the three parts of the Trinity coming together, and if Jesus desired to be baptized, we all should be desired to be baptized because it's a reminder that we belong, and that's the most important thing, that you belong.
Of course, some people can't remember their baptism because they were baptized as infants.
Exactly, I was. And basically, as an infant, your parents are making a decision on your behalf that they're sort of making a down payment that you're going to be raised in the life of the church, and they're going to work with you on that. And that's our faith tradition particularly. But then in confirmation, like at age 12 or 13, that child goes through a process of learning to take the vows of membership for themselves. So it is a time of whatever age you are, an infant, a teenager, 88-year-old we've baptized before. I mean, different ones at different stage. It's an outward sign, and it's also it's a sense of realizing an assurance of your salvation. Although it is just an outward sign, but it also is more important. It's such a sacrament that takes place, and when you remember that, it changes who you are.
So that ceremony is Sunday, January 11th?
Correct.
And
yes.
the church service starts at what time?
We have at 9 and 11 o'clock.
And you do it at both services?
Right, exactly, yes.
Reverend Peter McNabb having a second cup of coffee with us
to be with
once
y'all
again, and we'll do it again before too much longer.
God bless y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. All right, I'm John Mark Dempsey. This is KSST.